Hello and welcome to the, what do we call it? The Dirty Podcasters Club?
Hell yeah,
Episode 2. My name is John. I know I'm not drunk. I'm just retarded. And here with my co-host is
Dylan.
Hey,
Hello.
That's
Welcome.
Up.
Welcome to the podcast.
Alrighty, so we are going to talk about Dave freaking Bald Man Chapelle, who recently decided to come out as a transphobe.
I mean, he says he always says that he's been transphobic. Like he said on, like
He's always said it ironically.
He did just say it though. He's never been like I'm transphobic and all. But in this last podcast, in this last special, he said it a few times. He was like,
he said it because that's what the media and the people online portray him as, is transphobic. That's why he says those. Which I don't know. That's kind of I don't know. I don't think he is. I think he just
doesn't care. I think he just doesn't care. He's not like against them, but he's not like Stonewall March kind of guy,
I thought that's the gays.
It's LGBTQ plus, dude. There was trans.
Yeah, but Stonewall was mainly for
gays.
Gay rights, not trans. Trans is
They're
in the same community, but it wasn't what was being fought at that time.
It was trans people as well.
At Stonewall?
Pretty sure.
All right. Well,
first Google of the podcast here.
First freaking
Stonewall was
source. Trust me, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Because Stonewall was a bar. Do you know the backstory of Stonewall? It was a bar. It's a bar in I think in California, but I'm thinking
did Stonewall involve J.K. Rowling?
No, so it's a bar, and where a lot of gay people and part of the LGBTQ plus community would go to express themselves and just kind of live their life. And then a bunch of cops went there and were like, hey, this is illegal. And there was nothing illegal about it. So they protested, and they just kind of, it may have just been for gays, but it's all LGBTQ plus. I seen a quick summary of it in a TikTok, and they I think they said trans. I think they said trans people were there.
Okay, so here's the thing. Give me a second. I gotta adjust my mic. Oh, this is probably gonna sound shitty. I'm sorry. Sorry.
This part's getting cut.
No cuts. No cut podcast. We are a no cut podcast.
I know you're cutting that first part out.
Nope.
The burp? Yes, you are.
No, that's staying in.
No, it is
The
not.
Stonewall Riots were a series of spontaneous demonstrations by members of the gay community in response to police raids that began in early morning hours at Stonewall Inn in Greenwich Village neighborhood of New York City, United States, blah, blah, blah. Patrons of Stonewall, other village lesbian and gay bars, and neighborhood street people fought back when police became violent. The riots were widely considered a watershed event that transformed the gay liberation movement and the 12th century fight for LGBT rights in the United States. So it's for trans rights, yes, but I don't think they were involved necessarily, because it was for like gay and lesbian bars.
There probably was still trans there.
Plus, there's not really a lot of trans people, right? So I'd imagine back, when was this?
Yeah, no.
Back in 1969, there's probably
even less than.
There's probably 30 trans. I'm okay. I don't know. I'm not gonna try and pretend like I know trans shit. But
no, there's only about
trans history, not trans shit.
I think it's only 1 million people who identify as trans.
Yeah, roughly.
But that's public knowledge,
Yeah, that's just people who
there's
are openly and out there about it.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people. There's probably if everybody felt safe enough to come out, that number would probably double, if not triple.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So, and back then when, people didn't have as many rights, it was probably a lot less. Or when, all of this discrimination stuff was just being fought against, I bet there was really not that much people who were willing to kind of come out.
Right, yeah, exactly. And I mean, like, why would you? I mean in the sense of, not that you shouldn't, but like, why would you at a time of, like you said, like, where shit's getting crazy? It'd be very difficult. It's very hard. It's very hard for trans people to come out as who they are.
I mean, back then it was very difficult for anybody to come out as who they were.
Right.
To just represent themselves in a way that they wanted everybody to see. But on to Dave Chapelle.
So as of recently, he came out with this
final
new
special.
with this, not final, but he said final for now. Special, The Closer, where he has some hot takes about the transgender community, which is kind of like pretty much beating a dead horse at this point. Yeah, we're trying to. Love you too. We are being invaded by our mother.
Rated.
Rated.
Don't say
Hi. I burned something.
You want to say something to the podcast, Mom?
Oh, yeah.
About Dave Chapelle.
Oh.
Have you seen his new special?
I have not, but I heard that there's some controversy.
There is.
It's very controversial.
Yeah.
Pull up a chair. No.
Why?
Guest episode. He has some interesting opinions about trans people.
Oh, I think that's what I heard this morning. Yeah. Well, if that's the case, I don't want to watch it. I won't support it.
Good.
Okay.
Progressive mother.
Yeah.
No cuts. Alrighty, back to it.
No, edit it up a little bit, but
Don't tell me what to do. No, actually, I'm not going to. I'm keeping everything in now.
John, this is a 50-50 democracy here, okay?
Yeah, and I do all the work.
What?
I mean, what? What have you done besides provide your voice and mic that I bought you? Anyway, Dave Chapelle has his new special, The Closer, where he has some hot takes. And it's to the point that there's employees of Netflix that are, I think they just did a walkout as of recently because they don't support the things that he said in this special, and they're in disbelief that Netflix would put out such a hot take.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not surprised that they came out with it. I'm not surprised that... But there's people also walking out because of working conditions. Have you seen those? Netflix, some of the crew that work below the line, as they say, so the people who are the makeup artists and the people who hold the boom mics and everything, they work below the line is what they're called.
right.
And they just did a walkout. They just filmed a walkout with Netflix's own camera equipment, saying, "Hey, these working conditions are horrible. Change them." So they were working like 12-hour days, 16-hour days with no lunches. And sometimes companies will do, or sometimes like when you're filming like that, companies will be like, "Hey, you won't be able to get a lunch. Like, this is a very time-sensitive recording that we need to do." And so what they say is, "Okay, well, we'll, because you're not going to get this lunch, we'll pay you for it." You know? So on top of what you're making for the job, for selling your labor, you also get so-and-so money, you know?
Mm-hmm. I have not heard about this, but
the people,
Go off, Quinn.
when they sell when they do the what is it? Something meal. When
the BTS meal.
No, when they do the meal, like a meal buyout or whatever, is just, you know, to pay them for not having lunch. The legislation that put that into place was made in the 70s. So the inflation rates are all off, and, you know, just everything is wildly incorrect.
That's awesome.
So for like a half an hour break, people are getting paid like $7, to not eat lunch, to not eat food on 16-hour recording days, on 12
Is this
hours.
specifically to Netflix or just?
I feel like it's just Hollywood, just filming crews in general, because that's what the legislation applies to, is just filming crews. You know, obviously it's not just Netflix, but
What defines a film crew? Sometimes that could be a gray area. I feel like I don't know. Maybe there's a licensing part or aspect to it that defines you as a film crew, but
yeah,
I mean, like, someone who's really good with their phone could be considered film crew.
I don't know.
I don't know either, so I'm not going to talk about it. What I am going to talk about is the Dave Chapelle stuff, because that's what we got to stay on topic.
And we don't have to. It's just a podcast. We're just having fun.
And let's see here.
A podcast which I am carrying, by the way.
Oh yeah, you are. So he comes out. One of the shitty things that he says during his podcast. God damn it! I did what you said in the beginning. It's not a podcast. His special. He said that he's Team Terf. Just with also like how J.K. Rowling.
I don't know that term.
You don't? Okay.
I don't understand that term.
Yeah. Okay. Let's have a learning moment.
I don't care about J.K. Rowling. I know that she wrote some books, and I thought she was just I thought she was more progressive and not. I thought she was just a really weird author.
She's a really weird Arthur.
I was like saying it didn't sound right, but I thought she was just kind of a weird author, and I don't know much about her. I don't care.
So yes, back a couple of years ago. I don't know when. Let's say like 2014. That sounds right. She came out as someone who is considered a TERF, and a TERF is a feminist who excludes the rights of transgender women from their advocacy of women's rights. Basically, they're saying that they support women's rights, but they don't think that trans women are women, which doesn't really make sense for the sake of Dave Chapelle, because I can't remember when, but I believe at one point he does say that he thinks trans women are women. So it was very weird when he kind of said that he's like, I'm Team Terf. I think gender is a fact. And it's like you're giving me mixed signals here, Dave. I need some more we need something more concrete than whatever the hell you're trying to explain. So that's like one of the hottest takes that he had, was him saying he's Team Terf. Let's see here. Did I highlight something in here?
That's kind of stupid. I don't like that. I don't like TERFs. They're pretty stupid, honestly. But it's just, it's just transphobic, so.
Yeah, it is. And it's another big hot take that he had that I remember. And it's also a big stigma for people to make arguments of race and gender and like do like comparisons or like butt them together.
Oh, and yeah. So I've seen a few things like that where it's like, oh, you think being black is bad? In my country, I'm illegal in 72 countries because like being gay is like illegal in some countries. It's like, why are you comparing oppression right now? Like, what? This is stupid.
I've always hated people who compare one tragedy to another,
or just make everything a competition.
Yeah,
like
you see it on Facebook.
You got 6 hours of sleep. Well, I got 3 hours of sleep, and I haven't drank water in 3 hours. Like, okay, bitch, I don't care.
Yeah, it's
like that's your own fault.
It doesn't. Yeah, I don't.
But people who just make everything competition.
Some people are just quick to make something more about competition than to sympathize or just be like, dang, that sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
But as much as we can talk about, how shitty the things that Dave Chapelle has said, and have our takes or whatnot, I don't know how much more I honestly really want to talk about it. But I do know there's one thing I want to get out there, and that is a take that I have from my trans friend who watched it, and I asked her to give me a review of it, just like sent it to her, and I was like, hey, tell me what you think about this. It's kind of a spicy topic going on right now. Curious what your thoughts are on it. And if I can use my fingers and my eyes at the same time.
Maybe that's why Dad is quitting Netflix. It's because he's actually just super progressive and hates Netflix now because of the walkouts and strikes.
No, he's just a penny pitcher. Okay, so this is what she says. Let's see. Says I watched the Dave Chapelle, but I didn't finish it. LMFAO. I got like halfway in, but I couldn't listen to him spew bullshit. He's still funny and can write a good joke, but there is just too much of a history of pitting trans struggles against black struggles, and he's got too much of a platform to write people arguing against it off as taking him too seriously. Even if he doesn't actually feel that way about trans people, so many people look at him as an intellectual speaker that they're going to take his exaggerated jokes as representation for trans people. Specifically, it seems like he has some issues with trans women, which in my opinion, he shouldn't really be talking against that community in any aspect because he's not trans or a woman. Kind of same with us. That's why I was like, I don't know how much more we could really talk about it because we're neither. So, but last thing she says, I don't think he hates trans people, but I definitely don't think he respects them either.
Yeah, exactly. I mean that's just kind of like the general like what he portrays online, unless you knew him to more of a personal level, that you probably wouldn't be able to, like, unless you know him or seen some of the stuff that he does. It's just kind of like, well, I don't think he's for it, you know, but I don't think that he's like kill all trans or, you know, anything like that. Or
I think he's
for it. You're lying or basic biology, stupid shit like that.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Comedians are in a real like chokehold.
Not really though.
In a way. Well,
I feel like a lot of them I feel like a lot of them were able to say whatever the hell they wanted to. And now it's kind of like, okay, maybe you shouldn't be making such racist, such transphobic jokes and everything.
Well,
such derogatory jokes.
Yeah.
You know? And there's still dark humor. Like, there's still a lot of dark humor, you know, and I see trans jokes from cis white males all the time, you know, and they're not in like a, oh, well, you're trans, so I'm going to make fun of your trans and make it funny. That's not dark humor. That's just being an asshole.
Right.
Versus, like there is actual dark humor that is pretty funny.
Right. That's the thing. But the thing about dark humor is there is points to it that people just don't like the people who tell dark humor jokes. They don't know that what they're saying is like just fucking stupid or just a bad joke, a bad take or whatnot. Because there's this kind of mentality and I have absorbed so much stand-up comedy throughout most of like my late middle school, throughout all of high school, and to this day. I have absorbed a lot of stand-up comedy, just in general, and with all the comedians that I listen to, Dan Cummings, Tom Segura, Dave Chapelle, Bill Burr, Louis C.K., the list goes on, is that they all kind of like to agree on the fact that comedy is somewhat of a tool to like
push a message
and also to talk about things that make people uncomfortable and like build humor out of it it's supposed to be in a positive way. You know, that would be the main thing I would like as a takeaway, is that it's supposed to be a positive thing to talk about certain things that people don't want to talk about and make jokes about it and whatnot, and people are always going to be upset. Yeah, of course. So that's the thing, is like with someone like Dave Chapelle, he's got that old school way of thinking about comedy where nothing's off limits, because if you don't talk about it or whatever a hot topic is or a sensitive subject is, if you don't talk about it, then it doesn't get talked about. And it's also like a thing of like, you should not you should, but you can find humor in anything is the thing. But that's the thing. Like I said, it's an older way of thinking about comedy, and it kind of, that's why I'm saying I don't want to say comedians are really at a chokehold, because it's more of just like, we're kind of getting into like a gray area almost of like, what is funny? What is the joke? You know, when a joke is just at the expense of, oh, it's because he's black. Oh, he's gay. Oh, he's trans. It's like, what's the joke? Like, what's so funny? Yeah, but at the same time, it's all, I don't know. It also, I don't like to, but I think you should also kind of play factors in of like, who are you talking to and who's the one making the jokes? Like on a personal level, I have friends of mine who are gay, and we just call each other gay and we laugh. And I just find that's just stupid humor, you know? Mm-hmm. But I couldn't just like say that to anyone. But to me, because that's just a joke to me with my friends, you know, that's like, it's one thing. But you can't just like go to a random person. Maybe you have a little back and forth conversation on the subway and you go, you're fucking gay, dude. And the other person, what? Why would you fucking say that? You know,
I see personally.
That might not be a good example.
I don't think that really happens. I feel like gay is still heavily associated with a negative connotation. Like when people get upset or something, like working in fast food, there's a lot of stupid shit that happens all the time. People cut, so we have to pour like condiments out of bags, mm-hmm. and people cut huge holes in these bags and makes it impossible to pour it into a hole that big, a quarter size big.
Yeah.
And, it's just impossible. And people are like, oh, whoever did this is gay. Whoever, this is gay as shit. They get, we get into a rush, orders get confusing, and it's like, this is so gay. People that order this is so gay. It's still used in a negative connotation. But I don't know if it's that in society or if it's that in this little piece of shit town.
It's definitely integrated in society. Who is it? I have a few more, like 2 more texts from me and my friend that I also want to read off. But one, like an example I can give that like falls along those lines. Oh gosh, I'm debating on whether I should say it and just censor it later or I'm not going to say it. But Louis C.K., for example, who is he's one of my favorite comedians, but he has some really shitty takes as well. And one of his takes that falls along the lines of what you were saying is, and he goes into it, he's like, why can't I call someone FAG, but like the fuller one, the bigger word of it. He's like, why can't I call someone an FAG? Like it's, you never called someone an FAG unless they're being an FAG. And what he meant by that is like someone who's just being fucking annoying. And that, like, he comes from a time where when people said that, it was harmless to some and harmful to many. But that's like kind of like I was explaining before, it's like comedy. I think comedy is going to get somewhat rewritten in a way, like kind of like the rules about it. But like, because there's also just like certain jokes, like older jokes that are just like, just not funny. Like it's kind of stupid. And for example, that like, he's like, why can't I call someone an FAG if they're being an FAG? I'd have to pull up the clip for the full context. I'm really butchering it. And that's what also sucks about trying to talk about like comedians' jokes is like,
you don't remember everything.
You don't remember everything. And even just like you cannot, it's like all about how the joke was presented.
Oh yeah.
Fully
the comedic
originally.
Timing and everything,
the timing
that you need.
And the energy and the environment.
That's all like, whatever. But I feel like a lot of comedians are just kind of doing comedy wrong. Like
Dylan's like, I am the funniest, actually.
Well, I mean, like, think about it. Like think about George Carlin. He makes very he uses very strong language. He talked about crucifying somebody upside down for the Monday night football game. And nothing, nobody thought it was offensive because he didn't say we're gonna burn the Jew. You know, he didn't say.
Yeah,
he didn't say anything like that.
He doesn't like punch down. Is the thing
exactly?
That's the thing. I think that's the main thing. Is like
I feel like that's why
the rule of comedy is something we're learning is that we shouldn't be punching down on people or really comparing one major thing to another major thing, unless it's unless the highlight of the joke is something that like is almost like inoffensive in a way where it's like,
well, I wouldn't even actually now thinking about it for a few seconds, I disagree with that. We don't need to punch down because there are a few instances that you can punch down. George Carlin did it all the time.
What to who?
Murderers and pedophiles, bad people. But exactly when comedians now punch down on people, they're punching on regular people, gay people. They didn't do anything wrong, you know. But when George Carlin says, I hate all murders, I want to burn all Jews at the stake, nobody gets offensive. What? Wait, Jews? Did I say Jews? I meant pedophiles. I was thinking
what's the difference?
No. Sorry. When George Carlin says, I want to burn all pedophiles at the stake for the Monday Night Football game, Bud Light is going to host it, you know, nobody gets mad. Nobody, you know, nobody
because that's a group of people that are
horrible people.
Yeah,
exactly. But so nobody gets mad. But when you say, "Oh, well,
that's not
you're gay." Oh, well, that kind of goes against God, you piece of shit. Well, that's kind of like, well, they didn't do anything wrong. They're just gay. They just have a difference in opinion. They just feel a different way about something.
Well, what I was trying to explain when it comes to things are changing with comedy, it's the punching down on the wrong people.
Exactly.
That's what I meant to say, and that's what I meant.
That's exactly what comedy is shifting. It's changing.
You can definitely punch down on terrible people.
Exactly.
Like, who gives a shit? No one's gonna give a shit. That's why that's why literally everyone in this country shits on any current president. It's an easy punch down. For some comedians, like Bo Burnham, there's an interview where he said some interviewer asks like, do you plan to like make any jokes about the president? And Bo Burnham just explains, he's like, it's just such an easy, it's hanging fruit. It's like, I don't even want to swing at it.
It's like picking cherries. Yeah. But I also think like people, unless you're making, I don't know. I feel like it's very different because like when people make jokes about Biden, like, oh, Biden has dementia, everybody laughs.
Right.
But if people make jokes about Trump, some people take that more serious. Like some people are just like, no, he does, blah, 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 whatever. But I'm not like, I feel like there's more of a presence of people who are serious about Trump than a presence of people who are serious about Biden. Like everybody thinks Biden's a joke. Like nobody is like I've seen a few people, the disgusting people, we did it, Joe, you know, or oh, I love President Joe Biden. It's like, dude, do you really? Or are you just like,
I don't know,
Democrat?
It depends. There's definitely people who are sensitive on the Democratic side. It goes both ways when it comes to sensitivity and the whole snowflake, like who's a fucking snowflake? You're sensitive. I can't shit on your president. He's my president. Blah blah blah. It's like, I don't know. It's probably more like with the city that we're in. We definitely probably like if we say anything about Trump here in the city, the people are going to be pretty sensitive about it. But overall, there's probably just as many people who get sensitive about someone shitting on Biden as well. But I just blinked. How did we get here? Why are we talking about those?
We're just having a conversation.
I know, but I don't even know how it got there.
Who cares?
Me, because I'm trying to get back to...
Why? We're just having a podcast, dude. We're just talking.
I know we're having a podcast, but I'm trying to get back to the trans issue, which is more important. But I know where you're getting at. Okay, so let's see here. So the last thing that my friend says, she says, I don't think he hates trans people, but I definitely don't think he respects them either. My response to that was, I don't like the comparison of the black and trans community. It feels like he's grasping straws when he says, let's see here, when saying when trans people have problems with black people, they weaponize their white privilege, and that in itself is fair criticism for the whole community. Because he does have a joke about, I don't even know if it was a joke or if he was just talking at some point. That's the thing about, a stand-up special is. Like, there's just moments where he's just talking and people laugh, and it's just like, oh, okay, I guess. And he had a moment where he says that, like, you know, trans people, when it's like, he says something about it, he makes it he makes it more about like it's a white person, and you know, just because they're trans doesn't mean that they don't recognize that they're still white. So if they're having problems with black people, you know, they're gonna just call the police and everything will be fine, or something along that line.
Oh, when he said, you know, you'll still call the police on my black asses, or I don't know exactly
something
what
like
he said.
that.
But
Yeah.
like when he was telling the story of when he was in the diner and with the gay, it was like a gay guy, a white gay guy, and he's like, if you call the police, you know, they'll come and they'll still shoot me, whatever. You know, he was making a white versus black issue.
Yeah, I hated that joke. I thought that was honestly stupid. Like, I don't know.
Clifford. I thought that was kind of funny.
The Clifford thing was really funny. Yeah. And then let's see here. That in itself is fair criticism for the whole community. It's not. Because you can make that criticism about any whitewashed group of people. I really hate on TikTok that conservatives are posting clips of his special, like they're talking points against trans rights and people, or against trans people, yeah. And good fucking lord, the comment section. You look up hashtag or just Dave Chapelle the Closer. Look up clips on TikTok. Go into the comment section. It is foul. It is so many like Blue Lives Matter, Confederate flag profile pictures, or Punisher skull profile pictures.
Which I don't understand the Punisher, because if anybody's watched the Punisher, he was a cop killer. Like, he killed cops in the show.
Was he a cop? I thought he was
He literally killed cops, and like he was like against cops.
I don't think. No, I thought he.
He
killed murderers.
And I know he killed cops in it, because I seen a whole thing. I seen like a whole movie scene of it, and it was like, hey, this is from the Punisher. I don't get why people use it, because it was explaining that exact whole thing.
Right.
And it was like, he is a cop killer.
I'll have to look into it. I don't know my Punisher lore.
Yeah, no, I watched it once, and I was like, I watched like a beginning part of one of them that was on Netflix, and I was just like, oh, this is kind of boring, honestly. I didn't get far enough into it.
Right.
I was just kind of like, yeah,
I'll fact check.
I don't really care.
I'll fact check in a second. Okay, so my friend has one last thing to say, and then we can go off from there. She says, that's exactly my point. And I agree that there is a disparity between black and white trans people, and even though most trans people I know are ACAB, there's definitely white trans people who abuse their privilege against black people. So she even acknowledges, like, yes, that can happen. To continue, it's just that saying a blanket statement that all white trans people abuse their privilege feeds into the conservative mindset of not having to make a good point, just making counterpoints to own the libs, owning the libs. And yeah, that sounds complicated, but maybe because it is complicated, or it is a complicated issue that needs discussion and not blanket statements that conservatives can just push under the guise of jokes. He's just feeding way too heavy into the conservatives' hand, and obviously I don't know him personally, but maybe he just knows that conservatives are easy to make money off of. LMAO. That's probably best case scenario, though.
I don't think that he changes his content or changes what he says to make money off a certain demographic.
I definitely don't think so either.
I don't like what she is saying makes a lot of sense, and I'm guarantee there's people who do it. And it is like it's kind of more of a coincidence thing, and that's, it keeps like he says this, and then conservatives take it a different way, and then, they spend money on him, so he keeps blowing up and saying the same exact thing, and then they, keep using his points, whatever. But I feel like in an argument, if it was against or for, Dave Chapelle would be more for. Like, if somebody was saying, somebody was just talking about why, like, trans people are wrong, and why, like, oh, it's your basic biology, you can't change biology, all the stupid talking points. I feel like he would be like, well, he wouldn't like try to change their mind or anything, but he wouldn't like be okay with that, is what I like to think. I like to think that he's a little more for it than against. Like, I don't think he's against it. Just by what he says in his specials, it doesn't sound like he's against it. I mean, he made a good friend that was trans.
Right.
And,
Spoilers.
oh, yeah. Well, I don't know.
No, I'm just kidding. If anyone listens, they're gonna know based on the title and thumbnail. But go ahead.
Yeah, but he has a trans friend that I guess opened for him in San Francisco a few times or
Right.
whatever. So obviously he isn't like, well, he's not trying to disassociate himself from trans. If he didn't want anything to do with it, and saying that he was kind of in the middle, I wouldn't think, I would think, okay, he's probably a little more negative. But he had a trans friend, and he has probably had trans friends before, blah blah blah, whatever, So I think he's a little more for it, but
yeah, I'd say he's for it. It's just his takes are really dumb. And the thing is, it's not even like takes. I think his takes are like, the thing is, his special is like half him having takes on things, and then the other half is him trying to just make a joke out of something that is just like, why would you make a fucking joke about this? Like, it doesn't fucking make sense.
I don't know.
Not only that, some of the topic of trans people or the LGBT community that he, like, at this point, this is like his third special that he's talked about them, and it's just like, dude, can you not talk about anything else? And, there's another thing that also is pissing off a lot of people, and I also agree, this is fucking stupid. Man made $20 million off of that special. $20 million. There was less money put into Squid Game, and that is the highest like Netflix show right now. Less money was put into that show than Dave Chappelle's.
What he made off that one, and that's
no. He was just Netflix just outright like gave him a check of $20 million for the special.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Squid Games was written in like 2008.
Yeah, I saw something about that. The dude couldn't like get anyone to like fucking
produce it
for him. Yeah.
Yeah, because I seen something and it's like, just remember, if you wait too long, everybody will think that you knocked off Hunger Games, because Squid Games was written in 2008, and everybody's like kind of comparing it to.
Squid Games is the modern day Hunger Games.
I don't know though.
What's the phrase? Every masterpiece has its cheap copy.
Yeah. I mean, they're both good. They're not directly, I feel like you couldn't watch Hunger Games and then think of Squid Games, or watch Squid Games and then think of Hunger Games.
I didn't think so at all. I didn't think it was that. It was I think it was completely different, if anything. But I can see how people would think that they're.
I mean, it's just kind of like the competing for your life aspect that people are like, oh, it must be a copy of Squid Game or a copy of Hunger Games.
Among Us.
But Hunger Games came out in like 2012, so it was probably written a bit earlier than that.
Yeah.
But
I'm trying to think what. I thought I had something else to say. One last thing about the Dave Chapelle thing. He is dumb. He's boomer brained for sure. He's old and he doesn't have good takes about the community, but at the same time I would say he's not against it.
I just don't really like.
Oh! I remember what I was gonna say. So the whole argument that my friend made about how he's like possibly just trying to profit off of conservatives, like whatnot. I don't think that, because I think he's somewhat self-aware of like the things that he says to a point. This is gonna be an interesting so back in the day, Dave Chapelle had the Chappelle Show, and then he was like good for like another season or something like that, and he completely stopped. He quit, and then he like vanished for like years. Like he just kind of dropped off the face of the earth.
Like the Avatar kind of.
Yeah, everyone was.
Dave Chapelle is the Avatar of comedy.
Fuck. There's no hope. No. The reason he stopped making episodes of the Chappelle Show, because he noticed a moment where he was making jokes about black people, and he noticed one of the people he was working with was laughing, but his laugh sounded more like he was laughing at black people instead of in favor of them. And because of that, in favor of the joke. Like it was a distinctful, like, hateful laugh, I guess, that set him off, and he was just like, "Oh, interesting. I don't think I want to do this show anymore."
Yeah.
Because I don't want to advocate for people to watch my show and think it's okay to just shit on African Americans.
Yeah. So
the whole saying that he made these jokes because he is trying to profit off of conservative transgender takes, I don't think is the case. I think he just has dumb, stupid takes, and he just kind of doesn't. He's just not in tune, and he doesn't understand. So, and clearly he didn't, because that's why there's a whole protest going on, or walkout, or whatever you want to call it, of people coming out from Netflix saying, like, take it down, or fuck him, or fuck Netflix. Like, we're done with this shit. Like, screw this. And I don't blame them. And I'm glad they're doing that. And honestly, what I would really like is for Dave to come out
as transgender.
That
would be hilarious.
Yeah.
No.
No, he would, for him to, like, do a video or an interview with a trans person and, like, really, I don't know, like, either ask him questions or go over his special with him, you know? I think that would be interesting, and I think that would define it a whole lot more, and it would be best for him to kind of respond to the criticism in a way.
No, he said that was his last one, and he's vanishing again.
Yeah, probably, and we won't see him until he's got gray hair all over his body.
And he's bald. How is he going to get gray hair?
Yeah, hair just stops growing on every other part of your body when you're bald.
He's going to have gray eyebrows and a staff.
Oh, fuck. Okay, I'm done talking about that whole shit. I'm just glad we were able to talk about it. It's out there. It's recorded. Now I don't have to think about it again. I'll probably keep updated with it, see what's going on. Probably one of the last things I want to do on here is see what's up with the Punisher. I don't remember what's going on with the Punisher. Give me that Wikipedia. Alrighty, let's see here. Punisher's a fictional anti-hero.
Can I just read this real quick for you? I just looked
cannot.
up, was the Punisher a cop killer? And it says, despite famously having rules against harming legitimate law enforcement, the Punisher once broke his rule about killing cops to take out an iconic Spider-Man ally in the Ultimate Universe. Frank Castle is a former cop who seeks vengeance against... So he's a former cop, and he takes vengeance against all criminals when his family is killed.
Yeah, that's why they have his logo with, like, the Blue Lives Matter, because he is a cop.
He killed 2 corrupt cops.
Right, but...
So he is a cop killer.
They probably were bad cops.
They were corrupt cops, but he was still a cop killer. But I feel like that should be next episode or so. Like, we should devote a whole episode to talking some politics about police. I am going to probably take a hard pass on that. maybe later on, but not this soon. Not this soon. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Don't you worry. I know you want to get all political and talk your politics and whatnot, and that's okay. But I also want to have some goofball episodes as well. Nah, I mean. Next episode, burger. Burger trying. Testing burgers.
Oh gosh, see, I don't want to spend money. If we were making money off this podcast, I'd be like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Let's send it. But
I really just want to, like, I also just kind of want to, like, compare burgers in this town. Because, like, there's, you know, the 2 good local burger places.
I wish we should go to all the burger places and just ask for, like, a pie slice of a burger. Like, literally, like, 2 bites of each burger to compare it that way. Like, if we could do that, that'd be so cool. But I don't have to buy a whole ass burger. to take one bite of it, 1 or 2 bites, compare it, and throw it in the fridge.
No, I feel like...
And then be on a burger diet for 2 weeks.
I feel like what you do is you go to, like, your standard Dairy Queen, McDonald's, the 2 local ones, and then, like, Burger King or something. I don't know. And then... Or make our own burger. And then... it has to be the same exact. We get it scientific, and we get no outside variables. So it's always the same thing. It's ketchup, mayonnaise, lettuce, tomato, or whatever you want on it. And we always just get the same exact thing, so we can get a taste for taste.
Right. I have a better idea.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
All of the ideas are below this one right now.
What if we just made our own burgers and see who can make a better burger?
Mine will easily be better, though.
Ah, I see. Because you will be fucking wrong.
What would you put? What is your dream burger?
Not
Not dream burger. That sounds weird. But like, what is like best burger? Like condiment wise, and do you put lettuce, tomatoes on it?
Something that's never failed me is like a good Western burger.
Yeah.
Something that just has like.
Oh, dude, I'd smoke you. I'd literally smoke you out of the water.
Smoke me on what?
Making a burger.
Who's to say that's the burger I'd make? I'm just saying you just asked me what my favorite burger was.
I know, but if we're talking about and then we make a burger.
I wouldn't make a Western.
What?
Just because it's my favorite doesn't mean I would make it. I would make a good burger.
Well, you said that is a good burger. That's like the best burger.
Yeah, but in a competition sense, it's no good.
Okay, who can make the best Western burger?
Okay, in that case, I'll fucking smoke you.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, I know so.
So what would you put on it?
I'm not gonna. No, we ain't getting into this. This will be next episode.
No. What would you put on it? Not like name.
I'd put a burger on it.
Well, okay, don't tell me like the bun or the what kind of meat you'd use or anything like that. Okay, what are you doing tomorrow night?
I think we should do this next week.
I think you should go fuck yourself, and we should make this burger so I can prove that I'm 10 times better.
And you can wait a week.
We do have to wait until something comes in. I have to order something for this.
Strap on.
I have to
for
order
me for when I fuck you in the ass. How good my burger is.
I'd have to get something specifically.
Specifically. What are we calling a freaking cat?
Specifically order for the burgers.
Mayo chup.
I think I'd have to. So what we'll do? How about we make each other a burger, or like
that's the part of the competition.
Yeah. We switch burgers for just like a bite or so because I want to eat my burger because my burger will be way fucking better than your gross ass burger.
We'll see.
I have so many ideas. Oh my god.
This man's been thinking about burgers.
Dude. I thought about it like last week and I was like, dude, I really want to do a burger episode just because I just want to try all the burgers from around here and just know which burger is best.
Hey, if you want to pay for all the burgers, I'm all for it. I'm broke, so I'm not going to partake.
Broke bitch.
I'm a proud broke bitch. I'd rather continuously tell myself I'm broke and not spend money than spend money and feel shitty later.
It's weird because I've been saving up money, so I automatically take money out and put it into savings. But then that money that I do have to spend, I've just not been spending it. I've only been paying for gas. Like if I don't have cash, then I'm just not buying anything.
How often are you eating fast food?
Probably like once every 2 weeks or so.
Really? So what do you have for lunch when you're working there?
Okay. I was thinking more of pay for fast food. I eat fast food probably like 4 times a week.
Oof.
Because that's how often I work.
Right.
I really can't,
I mean, you can. I mean, you actually can. Whatever you're trying to say, right? You can.
I
can just make a sandwich.
Yeah, I can.
Make your own lunch
but I just don't. No, I wouldn't say 3 times a week or 4 times a week. I'd probably say 2 times a week.
Then what do you have on the days you don't?
I work 4 days a week, but I only actually eat something or go on break 2 times a week at least, if that. Like a lot of the times, I just don't go on a break. I just don't eat anything. I just don't need to. I'm just built different.
Don't have lunch?
I just don't need to. I just
Bro, you need to have lunch.
I just don't get hungry. Well, most of the time I'm working night shift, so I'm
Oh, so you mostly eat something here at home before you even get to
yeah,
work.
like I'll eat breakfast and then I just on the I think I work 2 days that I'm 8 to 4, and I've been doing it for the past year. I worked Saturdays 8 to 4 for probably a year and a half now, or up until a few months ago, and I did. A lot of times I just didn't go on a break. I just ate breakfast here, and I just wouldn't eat anything till I get off.
Oh God, dude, that's fucking torturous. You're not hungry?
No, just
Dude,
in the
you
same
got an appetite
in the same instance.
I'm the same. I'm built the same. I have my days where I just don't have.
But in the same
lunch.
instance, I just also I never have to use the bathroom. I can go 8 hours.
Fuck that.
I can go 8 hours without needing to use the bathroom.
I do not argue my bladder or my asshole. If they say it's time to go,
oh yeah, the few times
out.
The few times that I have
out.
The few times that I have had to go to the bathroom, I obviously do. We're not that it's not like a no.
You're
can't
like,
or
I'm not a caveman.
I
swear.
But I just generally don't. I don't know. It's weird. It's the same thing with school. I think I just strongly dislike.
You just absorb your piss and shit into your bloodstream.
I just get the max amount of nutrients, dude. Duh. That's how you do it. You just get as much nutrients into your body as you can.
Colon is just a portal into your bloodstream.
Yeah, but I think I just don't want to use public bathrooms whatsoever.
I always get that, but I don't know. I don't have a public bathroom that I use. I use a office bathroom, which is public to
an extent. 100 people, less than that.
There's 30 people at my office.
Yeah.
So that's the one I use, and it's cleaned daily. The dude comes in there and he cleans it daily. So.
I mean, but public bathrooms probably get cleaned daily as well.
Let me tell you a really good shit story that I have. So I used to work out in the field, I used to work out in the field. I used to drive a truck around because I used to mow lawns and whatnot. And so we're mowing at this apartment complex, and I think we just got back from lunch. So we drove out to a gas station, got food, went and then finished, went back to the apartment complex, which was 20 minutes away. And as soon as we get back and we're getting the equipment out, we're getting the mowers and the backpack blowers and shit out, as soon as we start doing that, I'm like, oh, I gotta take a shit. Oh, and it's an emergency shit too. I'm freaked out. It's bad. And so I get in the truck and I speed off back to that gas station 20 minutes away. I probably get there in 15 minutes.
There was nothing closer?
No. Yeah, no. It's far out. And it was out in Pueblo, so everything's spaced as shit.
Yeah.
There's yeah. So I'm driving back and I get back to the gas station. I go to the bathroom. I run into the bathroom, go into the first stall. There's two toilets. One's the handicap one and one's a regular stall. I go into the regular stall and it is broken. There's a sign on it. It says broken. Do not fucking use, shitface. I don't know. That's not what it said, but that's how
we put saran wrap on the toilet. So if you use it, it's your
no
the consequences of your own actions.
So that was broken. So I was like, fuck it. I'll break a leg and go into the handicap slot. I get in there and it's clogged. It's clogged and it's piled on. If you sat down, the shit pile in the bowl was probably 4 or 5 inches from your ass. And
you did it?
I had to go, dude. And I shit on that mountain.
God, I would hate cleaning that.
And I was I felt so bad the whole time because I was someone has to fucking clean this. But I'm at the same time, I'm fuck you guys for not cleaning it sooner. Like, it's kind of, if you don't, the sooner you can clean the shit pile, the smaller it is. You can't wait around on that. Or if anything, put up a sign.
Just lock the bathrooms, like, entirely if one of them is broken, you know?
Yeah, no. Yeah, one was broken, one was clogged, and then they just did put a sign in the clogged one. They were just like, "This Pueblo, now here's your fucking toilet. A fucking loafing jug." And that... Oh, I kind of wish I took a picture of it. It was kind of like a masterpiece, if I'm being honest. It looked... Yeah, because it was just like a mesh of, like, shit and, like, toilet paper and, like, all over the inside of the bowl. And just... Oh.
How do you... Like, that's just, like... Okay, just buy a new toilet. Just buy a new toilet. Just, no, we're not cleaning this. Just buy a new toilet.
If 2 other people took a shit after me, that second person, if they shit into it, it would have just been pressed up against their ass.
They would have done like a squat kind of thing.
You would have to you'd have to squat over the bowl. And that, oh my.
You should go back.
That gets into like some fair, oh no, they probably cleaned it or fixed it by now. Or maybe not. Maybe the restaurant.
Exactly. You should go back and see. You should find out.
I'm good. I avoid Pueblo as much as possible. The only time I like to go there is when I gotta go to the record store. It's drop $100 on 2 fucking records.
And you wonder why you're broke.
I do. I do wonder why I'm broke. That's why I ain't buying burgers. I'm buying records. Alrighty. And that being said...
You have enough records. All right.
No, I do not. Well, there's no such thing as a fully complete record collection. You just keep going. But you don't know that lifestyle. I know that lifestyle.
I do know the collection lifestyle, and I'm starting to get into it, but I'm getting into it with different things, obviously.
Yeah, like, I don't... except for collecting bitches. Anyway, so we're
I could say the same exact thing about you, you fucking pussy.
Alrighty, thanks for listening. This has been episode 2
of the Dirty Podcasters Club.
Yep, I'm John.
I'm Dylan.
No, he's gay.
Aw, man.
Okay. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.